What happens when you put together Clint Eastwood as a truck driving bare knuckle brawler along with his brother of a manager and pet orangutan plus a motley assortment of characters together? Easy. You've got this film right here, which is celebrating its 45th anniversary today. Let's talk about Every Which Way But Loose. Bad Days, Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers, and welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Joel, better known to you as the Big D, and this time around I bring to you a review of the 1978 action comedy flick, which I also consider to be a buddy flick as well, Every Which Way But Loose, released by Warner Brothers and directed by James Fargo, starring Clint Eastwood in an uncharacteristic and offbeat comedy role as Philo Beto, a truck driver and bare-knuckle brawler roaming the American West in search of a lost love while accompanied by his brother manager and his pet orangutan. In the process, he manages to cross a motley assortment of characters, including a pair of police officers and an entire motorcycle gang, who end up pursuing him for revenge. This film was released 45 years ago today, on December 20th, 1978. That, of course, marks the 45th anniversary. Now, after his string of spaghetti western and roles as Dirty Harry, Eastwood somewhat startled the film industry, and he was reportedly advised against making it. Despite being dissed and what have you, the film went on to become a success and became, along with its sequel, Any Which Way You Can, which I haven't seen yet. I want to, though, end up being two of the highest grossing Eastwood films. Well, let's get started with our story. Philo Beto is a truck driver living in the San Fernando Valley. He lives in a small house with an orangutan named Clyde, behind that of his brother Orville Boggs, and his mother, of course, preferably aka Ma. Philo makes money on the side as a bare-knuckle fighter. He is often compared to a legendary fighter named Tank Murdoch. One night, Philo becomes smitten with Lynn Halsey Taylor, an aspiring country music singer he meets at the Palomino Club, a local honky-tonk. His relationship with her seems to be going well until one day she and her camper disappear from the trailer park. Believing that he has fallen for her, Philo decides to set off for Lynn's home in Denver, Colorado. Along the way, he has a run with a motorcycle gang called the Black Widows, who incur Philo's wrath after two gang members insult him and Clyde at a traffic light. Philo chases them down and takes their bikes, which he repaints, repairs, and resells, and every attempt they make to get even results in disaster. Philo also incurs the wrath of an LAPD cop named Putnam, with whom he gets into a fight at the Palomino. Both the officer and the Wills learn of Philo's trip to Colorado and head off to find him. Orville and Clyde accompany Philo to Denver, and on the way they meet a woman named Echo, who becomes Orville's girlfriend. They earn money along the way by booking fights for Philo. After a fight in a slaughterhouse, the man holding the money tries to stiff Philo. Echo fires two shots from a .38 dead center into a side of beef. She lets the crowd know she knows how to shoot, saying the second shot was to let you know the first was no accident. The man hands over the money. Knowing that Philo has come to look for her, Lynn helps the Black Widows lure him into a trap. Philo sees Lynn and attempts to talk to her, but finds himself surrounded by the Black Widows. He manages to fight most of them until Orville intervenes. Using a garbage truck with a dumpster hoist, he dumps all the motorcycles into the back of the truck, and the Widows charge the garbage truck, but Orville gets away. Philo, Echo, and Orville then escape. Now for the ending. Of course, you always know the procedure. You have 5 seconds to stop this video, Go to the description box below and fast forward to the time below. If you've seen the movie already, please continue. Okay, you've been warned. Philo finally finds Lynn and she reveals her true nature to him. Hurt by her callousness, Philo says that he is the only one dumb enough to want to take her further than her bed. Philo watches as Lynn erupts in a fit of rage, striking him repeatedly until she collapses in tears. Orville learns that Tank Murdoch, based in the area, is ready to retire after one more fight. Orville makes the arrangements, and Philo faces his aging nemesis. During the fight, the crowd, initially pro-Murdoch, begins to insult him, with some murmurs that Philo is going to be the next Murdoch. Philo lets his guard down, intentionally giving Murdoch a clear shot, knocking Philo down for the count. Murdoch, having regained the crowd's esteem, is allowed to retire undefeated, although he knows Philo let him win. Clyde, Orville, Echo, head home the next day. Yep, that's how I put it this way in the story. Sorry I took just a little bit, but, So what did I think of Every Which Way But Loose? Well, I'm going to say, I've only seen it a few times. I am going to say this is a very funny movie. If you're into flicks like maybe Smokey and the Bandit and what have you, I think you might enjoy this one. This was pretty good. Now, this film has a contemporary Western theme, displaying the blue-collar aspects of the Western U.S., with main scenes shot in rural locations, cheap motel rooms, industrial facilities, and honky-tonk bars. Yeah. Really something. But hey, I'm cool with that. Now, the title origin refers to a song which serves as the theme song, sung by the late great Eddie Rabbitt, which of course, the soundtrack to this was released on Rabbitt's original label, Elektra Records. The title song would actually become a #1 hit for Rabbitt. And of course, a song in which the singer complains that his girlfriend turns him every which way but loose. In other words, he can not bring himself to leave her, although he is more of a free-willing character. However, this is not the origin of the phrase, as it was a line used in a scene of Smokey and the Bandit, which of course came out the previous year. Despite being distant, what have you, the movie still, however, went on to become a big success, going on to make $104 million in the US and Canada, ranking high amongst those of Eastwood's career, and was the second highest grossing film of 1978. When it opened, it made $10 million in its first week, surpassing his previous best opener, which of course was the last Dirty Harry flick, The Enforcer. Well, its reviews, unfortunately, were really bad. The New York Times called it the slackest and most harebrained of Mr. Eastwood's recent movies. It's overlong and virtually uneventful, even though there are half a dozen cute characters and woolly subplots competing for the viewer's attention. Variety says this film is so awful, it's almost as if Eastwood is using it to find out how far he can go, how bad a film he can associate himself with. The Chicago Tribune said that this breaks new ground for Eastwood, but the film has been sloppily made. Its villains are pathetic cartoon characters. Its seemingly sweet leading lady turns out to be a psychotic, and these errors cripple what could have been an extremely entertaining story. The LA Times called it a slapstick comedy that pushes all the right buttons for audiences, but lacks both the urgency and the emotional satisfactions of Eastwood's angrier films. Well, that's understandable. And the Washington Post wrote, Eastwood must have thought of his blundering new vehicle. This film has a change of pace, designed to align his career in a direction similar to that of Burt Reynolds. Casual knockabout farce seems to be the general idea, but perhaps Eastwood should have borrowed the the director and writers who helped shape Smokey and the Bandit and Hooper for Reynolds. The film certainly isn't loose, it's a sluggish shambles. And Newsweek says one can forgive the orangutan's participation. He couldn't read the script, but what is Eastwood's excuse? That a star with his power in Hollywood would choose to litter the screen with this plotless junk heap of moronic gags, sour romance, and fatuous fisticuffs can be taken either as an expression of contempt for his huge audience or as an act of masochism. As of now, the film sits at 41% on Rotten Tomatoes, saying the inexplicable pairing of Eastwood with an orangutan is the least of the film's problems. A slack action comedy with a haphazardly assembled story. Well, I'm understanding you, in which case you already know that. I'm an understanding person. But nevertheless, I thought this film was absolutely funny and what have you. I mean, as much as I like Smokey and the Bandit, but I actually like Every Which Way But Loose. After I watched it for the first time, which I watched it on DVD, I've got after my pop passed away. I got a lot of his old movies, even though he's mostly got westerns. But when I found this one, and after hearing the theme song play on classic country radio so much, I knew I thought I'd give the dice a roll and give it a shot. I'm gonna say it's pretty funny and what have you. Sure, it might not come close to being as great as some of the old spaghetti westerns that Eastwood did, or even the Dirty Harry flicks, but nevertheless, I think he did an exceptionally good job as Philo. After this, there would be a sequel to this called Any Which Way You Can, which was, of course, released 2 years later. Anyway, yeah, Eastwood's still pretty funny, well, and pretty tough and what have you. But anyway, but the real comedy comes from Geoffrey Lewis as Orville. He was pretty funny. Same with Ruth Gordon, who plays Ma. And Beverly D'Angelo as Echo was really good too. Now, Sondra Locke, who was certainly no stranger to working with Eastwood, of course, who was actually, currently Eastwood's partner at the time, as a matter of fact. Yeah. In which, of course, she recently appeared in in a couple of Eastwood's, I could be wrong, but she might have been in more of these. She was recently in a couple of Eastwood's films, The Outlaw Josie Wales and The Gauntlet. Now, I've seen The Outlaw Josie Wales, not The Gauntlet, though, but I've heard of it, though. She, of course, would reprise her role as Lynn Halsey Taylor in the sequel to this, and she also played Jennifer Spencer in Sudden Impact, the fourth Dirty Harry film. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. Walter Barnes played Tank Murdoch. And we've got several others and what have you. Really, really crazy. We have, the orangutan menace playing the role of Clyde. We also have, some cameo appearances from Mel Tillis and Charlie Rich, the Silver Fox himself, who both of them also appeared on the soundtrack album, which of course consists of some of their recent tunes like Tillis's Coca-Cola Cowboy and Rich's Pop Your Behind Closed Doors. Even though that was a hit for him back 5 years before. But however, they did have top 5 hits with, two of their, own contributions to the album, with Rich making it to number 3 with I'll Wake You Up When I Get Home, and Tillis reaching number 2 with Send Me Down to Tucson. Steve Dorff does the score for this, and it's pretty good too. But anyway, I'd say if you enjoyed films of, well, maybe Smokey and the Bandit or even Hooper, I'd say you'll feel right at home with Every Which Way But Loose. I definitely would say I would recommend it, but maybe just to play it safe, give it a one-time watch. I think you'll like it. Definitely. So anyway, as I would say, the cast is pretty good and what have you. The humor's fun and what have you. It's pretty good. It's just kind of a mixed bag, but I still like it though. So, what did you think of Every Which Way But Loose? Let me know in the comments section below. If you liked the video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you my re-review of Aquaman. So, if you like this, consider checking out my reviews for some of these other films. Check out my reviews of some of these of the first two Dirty Harry flicks with Mr. Eastwood. The upper left-hand corner is my review of Dirty Harry. The upper right-hand corner is my review of Magnum Force, the second film. Now, as I've said, I will review the rest of the Dirty Harry films next year. Or if you would like, this is just one of my early videos. I could redo it sometime, but we'll see. This is my review of Smokey and the Bandit in the bottom left-hand corner. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.